Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sienna. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well, and I just wanted to start a little reading vlog. There's a couple of books that have come out that I've really wanted to read, and then there's a few that have been all over my TikTok, and that's really encouraged me to read them. And the first book that I started reading, I'm only like the first chapter in, but I have started and I wanted to vlog my reading experience of it, is Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. The cover, again on a Kindle, you can't really see the colors, but the cover looks like this. It's been a pretty popular book in terms of people reading it on TikTok and really recommending it. I do think it came out a few years ago though. I don't think it's a new release of this year, but this is a sapphic book and a lot of people have just said it's like had them crying. Same with Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So two books that I really wanted to give a go. I've not read from this author before at all. I think maybe she's got a new book coming out, because I did see when I was looking on like the Amazon store, there's another book and that looked really intriguing. So I'm gonna read this, see how I like it. So far, again, I'm a chapter in, so I don't have too much to say other than I do really like her writing style, which when authors write quite short sentences, sometimes I can really not like it if it doesn't flow, and I feel like it's a bit like just all over the place and it's really short and quick. It kind of takes me out of the story when it doesn't flow more in a long sentence form. I don't know if that's other people's experience or not. It's just for me, I struggle with that sometimes. But this one so far has been written really well, that it's not doing that to me, because the sentences are quite short to the point, but it almost flows like someone's train of thought. For this book, I'm on chapter 2. Let me read you the blurb. It's sapphic. It's set in Ireland in like the 19 something. Let me find the year and actually get you the blurb. It's the early 1990s, and in the Irish village of Crossmore, Lucy feels out of place. Despite her fierce friendships, she's always felt this way, and the conventional path of marriage and motherhood doesn't appeal to her at all. Not even with handsome and doting Martin, her closest childhood friend. Lucy begins to make sense of herself during a long hot summer, when a spark with her school friend Susanna escalates to an all-consuming infatuation, and very quickly to a desperate and devastating love. Fearful of rejection from a small and conservative community, Lucy begins living a double life, hiding the most honest parts of herself in stolen moments with Susanna. But with the end of school and the opportunity to leave Crossmore looming, Lucy must choose between two places, two people, and two futures, each as terrifying as the other. Neither will be easy, but only one will offer her happiness. Like, even reading that made me like tear up a little bit the first time I read it. It sounds beautiful, and so far, like I said, their writing is also really beautiful in the way this author explains things. So that's Sunburn. I'm gonna read that, and then maybe we'll read Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid as well. This is also, you've probably seen my Kindle before, but this is my new friend. Well, technically not new. This is my Sonny Angel. She's been on my phone case, she was on my phone case previously, and I kept getting caught on things. I loved my Sonny Angels. If you can't see the actual army of them I have going on over there, I have many Sonny Angels, but this is my favorite one to put on things, and she's now on my Kindle. But she's added a bit of weight to what I was reading it the other night. I was like, whoa, but it's so cute. I love it, and it matches my stickers so well. Yeah, I'm obsessed with my Kindle. It's just the best thing ever. Hello everybody. I wanted to jump in and give a little bit of a reading update. I started Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth, which I spoke about in the beginning of this vlog, and I am enjoying it. I think it's written so beautifully and so lyrically. There's so many highlights that I already have from it, but I think it's maybe a bit more lyrical or telling rather than showing, and I think that's gorgeous and it reads beautifully. but I'm maybe just not super used to that style. And so it's taking me like a little bit to maybe stay invested, because it feels more like a train of thought rather than a story, if that makes sense. Maybe more like a poem than a story, but it is beautiful. Like the way she's written it is, there's a few highlights I have that I was like, is she talking to me? Like it is so well done. It's just a bit different than what I'm maybe used to, and that's not a bad thing at all. So I'm like 21% of the way through, and so far we're skipping in, I'd say, months. We're getting different perspective of what's happening as our main character is growing up. So we're following Lucy's perspective, and we're seeing her throughout these different months in her teenage years. She's just turned 17, and I guess just all the changes that come with being 17, and also again that internal struggle of everyone else is wanting to be with guys, and this guy that she's been friends with for so long, and everyone thinks they should end up together, and that feeling of almost she doesn't want him or to be with him, but that want to be desired has really come up for her. So that's where we're at so far. Her and Susanna, who's our other main character, have not really interacted that much, and I think that's maybe what I'm struggling with. I don't know if it's going to get more, like we then get set on just one specific time of their relationship, but currently I've not seen or been with them much throughout it, and it feels more like I'm being told the story rather than it being shown. And again, I think it's really well done, and I think the writing style is gorgeous. It's just not what I'm used to, and I think it's throwing me a little bit, which is okay. I'm going to still continue reading it. But another book that I had been wanting to read and that I saw was out is Summer of Love by Lily Easton. I've not heard of this author before at all, but this is essentially a Love Island gay romance, which, let me just have a rant about reality television. I love reality television. I watch a lot of it, especially like dating reality television. I watch a lot, and I do really like Love Island, but it's always really annoyed me how, I guess, just not inclusive they are of different sexualities, because there's quite a number of people that have gone on there who are queer in some aspect, but they never give the opportunity for there to just be queer couplings, and that's always really pissed me off a little bit, because I don't know, I just feel like as we get further in society that these shows should really keep up with that. And I think maybe just because I consume a lot of like queer media generally, it maybe irks me a little bit, but I'm also just, there's so many people in the world, and out of all the people you have on Love Island specifically, there are going to be gay people on it, and it just makes sense that obviously you're going to eventually have people who may be attracted to the same sex. And I'm like, it's never shown, and I wish it was. And I remember years ago maybe reading, I don't know if it's true or not, but the reason why they don't have same-sex kind of couplings or pairings going on is because it's too messy or it's too something. And I'm like, that's just a bullshit excuse. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but anyway, we're following Declan and Oliver. They go on the Summer of Love, which is basically just Love Island UK, and it's so good so far. I'm 29% of the way through, and I'm loving it. I love getting to see the behind the scenes of what it would be like to be on reality shows, specifically a dating reality show, because obviously I'm watching it, I know that there is going to be certain points where it's scripted or production want things to look a certain way, but they edit it so seamlessly sometimes that you can kind of forget that there must be so much going on behind the scenes when they're not being shown what's happening and with the filming. And again, obviously Love Island and shows like that, you're choosing to go on that show, but just the idea of being under surveillance just at all times. And in this book, I don't know if it actually mirrors what it 100% is like in Love Island, but they get one day off on Saturday where there are no cameras and they're not being filmed. I couldn't imagine not having my time to myself other than like one day a week. That, I mean, I personally wouldn't go on Love Island. I would be a wreck. I would be sobbing all the time. If anyone watched Love Island season 6 of the US version, Kayla, that would be me. I would just be constant tears. I would not like being filmed at all times of my day, and also being told what storylines they're wanting as well. Yeah, I don't know. Personally wouldn't be for me, but I think it's really interesting in this book. Declan and Oliver are both on here not with the purpose to find love. And that's something that comes up with these shows is people, you know, are people there to build, I guess, their fame and their life to gain that aspect of it? Or are they genuinely there for love? And that can be a really hard line, I think, to kind of toe. Or maybe you're there for both, I guess. But I think in some aspect, you've got to be there because you want people to know who you are on some level. And both of these main characters are there for that reason. We're following Declan, who is a pro boxer. He is gay and he's not out. And this is his chance to, in his words, gain a lot of followers. And that's kind of what he's here for. And then we have Oliver, who is a professional ballerina, I think they're called. And his ex is going to the Manhattan Ballet School. She broke up with him, she moved there. And he's not so far come out in any capacity. So as far as where we're at in the book now, he is straight from what we know, but he's essentially wanting to come on to win the prize money so that he can move to New York to be with his ex, which his ex and my ex have the same name. It's quite triggering every time he talks about it. But anyway, and we're following these two along their journey in the villa and what that looks like, and again the behind the scenes of that production and how they want them to have this love triangle, but how they both really don't care but are just playing it up for the sake of cameras and for good TV. And then also, I guess, them building a friendship on some level. And I'm really enjoying this book. It's got me hooked. I'm reading it morning, night. I'm really intrigued by it. And I love the concept of it being Love Island in book form that's gay, while getting to see all the behind the scenes. It kind of described itself as a mix between like Red, White and Royal Blue and The Charm Offensive. And I could really see that. And The Charm Offensive is one of my favorite books ever. So that was the main draw for me. But I'm really enjoying both the characters so far. I really like Declan, I really like Oliver. I'm enjoying where they're at currently. It was kind of a bit like, I wouldn't say rivals, but a little bit of rivals. Declan and Oliver maybe didn't get off on the best foot together, but are now building on that romance, and the production has really gotten whiff of their bromance. And I'm just intrigued to see where it goes. More of Love is just a fun romance that I wanted to read while watching season 7 of Love Island. And it just felt fitting, and I just wanted a gay version of it. And it called, and I called, and it answered, and thank God for that. So that's my reading update. I'm going to make my dinner, continue scrapbooking, and then read a little bit later tonight. The updates. Maybe I'll show you my scrapbook later. Maybe not, actually, it's a bit personal. I might show you just the outside of it because it's really cute. I haven't scrapbooked since March and we're now in August. So I have quite a bit of catching up to do. And then I was mid scrapbooking last night and my glue ran out. So I had to get some today. I'm going to finish that, eat my dinner, and then read. And I might talk to you later. everybody. A little update for you. I finished The Summer of Love and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. I don't even know what I'd rate it. Maybe like a 4 stars. I read it really quickly. I liked a lot of aspects of it. There are a couple of things I maybe wish were a bit different, but overall I had a really good time reading it. I enjoyed getting to see the behind the scenes of reality TV. I don't think that's really spoken about very much, but even just seeing the really specific questions they ask or takes that they have to take, anyway, it makes sense that obviously that they would retake these things, but then they can edit it so seamlessly, especially in Love Island. And I don't know, it didn't click to me that maybe they would actually do that a few times. I don't know why it didn't, but it didn't. I really enjoyed it. I liked our 2 main characters. I do think though, the romance aspect of it, you kind of got them a little bit in the villa, and then the main kind of like 3rd act thing happens, and then you get them a little bit at the end, and there was no smut in this book, which I did enjoy that aspect of it. But the romance, I think the build-up was quite good, and then I think it maybe lost me a little bit at the end when we didn't really get to see them together very much. But it was still really cute. I really enjoyed Declan and Oliver. I thought they were a really cute couple, cute people. I liked the story. It's nothing, you know, groundbreaking, but it was cool to see more of a background, what it would like to be on a reality dating show. I personally would hate it. It would be my own type of hell being on a show like that. You know, I think of Love Island. I do not want to be in a bikini all day on camera, being surveilled all times. Like, I feel like you can't even like shit in peace, you know? I just, then you have to sleep in a room with all these other people who are probably having sex next to you. Not for me. Not for me at all. If I had to go on Love Island, I think it would be there to make friends in my oversized t-shirt, just watching everyone else. I don't think I would really want to engage in that at all, but it was a cute book. I enjoyed it. I am still in the process of reading, I don't know why I said that so formally. I'm still reading Sunburn at the moment. I've gotten to a part where we do see a bit more of Susanna and Lucy together and in a more specific time than the jumping, which I did think was going to happen. I just wasn't sure. And so they have jumped a little bit in the time periods, and now we're focusing on a bit more of them when they're getting really close. And I love it. I mean, it kind of feels more like you're observing Lucy's experience with Susanna than being in both. I mean, it's not your perspective, but them being really there, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to describe it. If you've read it, please let me know if that was your experience. Now it feels more grounded in Lucy's perspective, but for a while there, it felt more like a story was being told, less so than I felt immersed in the story. But it's really beautiful. It really is. It had me tearing up the other day. I was like, wow, just fucking hit me where it hurts. And so I'm going to keep reading that. And then there's a couple of other books that are coming out next week, which is really exciting. The main one being by C.E. Ricky. I think it's the 4th or 5th book in her university series. And it's an enemies to lovers. Oh, it's just what I've been craving. I just need a good enemies to lovers to really fill my cup currently. Because Sunburn's good and I'm really enjoying it. But I don't know if I'm maybe more in a fantasy mood because I've read 2 romances at the same time, which that's not Sunburn's fault. I think that might be a me fault, an issue. I shouldn't have done that. Probably should have been reading a fantasy or like a, I don't know, enemies to lovers or something instead. And I haven't. So I'm going to try and continue reading Sunburn. And then next week when that comes out, I will in fact be picking that up. Otherwise, there's a couple of books coming out actually in August. There's that one, Jax Calder's book. me get my trusty iPad up and let you know what else is coming out. So I think there's a couple that I wanted to read. Oh my god, I look like such an old person, but you know, I'm not looking youthful here with my iPad, that's by any means. The Unlikely Spare by Jax Calder, Playing Dirty by C.E. Ricky, and Shadow Man by Nyla K are all coming out at the end of this month, which is exciting. Exciting times. Just seeing if there's anything else. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I have a tag because I fear I am rambling right now. I'm gonna finish that. I'm gonna finish Sunburn. I would like to get this vlog out by Sunday, so maybe I won't finish them before then. I've just started Daisy Jones and the Six and I'm obsessed with it, and it's taking up my brain space right now. It is all I want to watch. So I don't know how much I'll read tonight, but those are the books I have read. I finished one, Summer of Love, and I've almost finished two. Not really. I'm like 30% of the way through Sunburn. I'm nowhere near nearly finished it. I'm going to continue reading that, continue reading the Terrace Trials. I feel like this vlog has been a bit all over the place and I apologize for that. But next week there's a number of books coming out, so maybe I'll do like more individual reading vlogs around just like one book instead of trying to jam pack multiple into it, and that might work a bit better. But yeah, thank you. If I don't come back and talk to you, thank you for watching and for being here. I appreciate it. Let me know if you've read any of these books down below. If I do see you again, disregard this. Actually don't. I do hope you're doing well, and let me know what you're reading down below. But I may or may not see you. So if I don't, goodbye. If I do, I'll see you then.